Imagine winning $1 million from a fast food game. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, for years it was. This is the story of how one man stole the American dream, one French fry at a time.
Fast food and fraud, the FBI today.
FBI!
Authorities arrested a Texas man who just claimed the $1 million prize.
Thanks, McDonald.
George Chandler just won $1 million.
Thanks a million, McDonald.
The year is 1987. Ronald McDonald has a new trick up his sleeve. McDonald's launches a promotion that would change fast food marketing forever: McDonald's Monopoly. The game was simple: collect game pieces, win prizes, from free burgers to luxury cars and even $1 million jackpots. America was hooked, but what millions of hopeful players didn't know was that the biggest prize had already been claimed by a man known as Uncle Jerry. For over a decade, Jacobson, a former cop turned security expert, ran the largest known fraud in the history of American sweepstakes promotions. The golden arches had been tarnished and the game was rigged from the start. But how did he do it? And how did he almost get away with it? Grab your detective hat and a Big Mac because we're about to supersize this mystery. Our story begins in the late 1980s. Jacobson, or Jerry as his friends called him, seemed like the perfect man for the job. A former police officer with a reputation for being a stickler for the rules, he was hired by Simon Marketing, the company responsible for running McDonald's Monopoly promotion. Jerry's job? Head of security. He was in charge of making sure the game pieces, especially the high-value ones, were safe and secure. Talk about putting the fox in charge of the henhouse. At first, Jerry took his job seriously. He was known for being almost obsessive about security. He'd follow workers to the bathroom, checking their shoes to make sure they weren't stealing any game pieces. His attention to detail was legendary. He'd personally scissor out the high-value pieces from the printing sheets and supervise their entire journey. The security measures were intense. The room where the pieces were printed had a vault-like door that required 2 people to enter passcodes simultaneously, like something out of a Cold War missile silo. The pieces themselves had special markings visible only under black light. Jerry even wore a special vest under his shirt to secretly transport the winning pieces to McDonald's packaging factories across the country. But something was about to change. In 1995, Jerry discovered something that would alter the course of his life. He found out that the game wasn't as fair as it seemed. Whenever the computer randomly selected a factory in Canada to receive a winning game piece, the company would run the program again until it chose an American location. Jerry was shocked. If the game was already rigged, why shouldn't he get a piece of the pie? His moral compass, once unwavering, began to spin. His first move was small. He gave a $25,000 winning piece to his stepbrother. It was easy, too easy, and just like that, Uncle Jerry was born. But Jerry knew he couldn't cash in the big prizes himself. He needed a network. Enter the most unlikely group of co-conspirators you could imagine: ex-cons, psychics, Mormon real estate developers, and even members of the Colombo crime family. One of Jerry's key partners was Jerry Colombo, a larger-than-life character who claimed to be part of the Colombo crime family. Colombo had a strip club in South Carolina that he'd gotten designated as a house of worship to skirt regulations. He called it the Church of the Fuzzy Bunnies. I kid you not. Colombo was perfect for the job. He had connections, he wasn't afraid to bend the rules, and he was hungry for the American dream, even if he had to steal it. He even appeared in a McDonald's commercial, waving the key to a Dodge Viper he'd won, a car so small he couldn't even fit inside it. The scam worked like this. Jerry would steal the winning game pieces before they were distributed. He'd replace them with regular pieces, then sell the winners to his network of accomplices. They, in turn, would find people to claim the prizes. But how did Jerry get past the tight security? Well, remember those anti-tamper seals on the game piece envelopes? Jerry got a bunch of them by accident in the mail. It was like the universe was telling him to go for it. From there, it was almost too easy. Jerry would take the winning pieces out of his special security vest while in the bathroom, the one place his female auditor couldn't follow him. He'd open the envelopes, swap the pieces, and reseal them with his secret stash of anti-tamper seals. It was the perfect crime. For years, the scam went off without a hitch. The winners kept coming forward, each with an elaborate story about how they found their lucky piece. There was William Fisher, who claimed he found his $1 million piece in a magazine he bought after his first one fell in the water. Or Gloria Brown, who said she peeled her winning piece off a French fries carton. In reality, she had paid $40,000 to one of Jerry's recruiters for the piece. She ended up with $1 million. Not a bad return on investment. The network grew. Jerry's accomplices included Andrew Glom, a former drug trafficker who had just finished a 12-year prison sentence. Glom sold most of his winning pieces to buddies from his drug dealing days. Then there was Dwight Baker, a real estate developer and respected member of the Mormon Church, who was struggling with debt and saw the scam as a way out. Jerry even had a soft spot. In 1995, he anonymously mailed a $1 million game piece to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, a rare moment of charity in a sea of greed. But as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. And for Uncle Jerry, the end began with a simple phone call. In March 2001, an anonymous tipster called the FBI office in Jacksonville, Florida. The caller said that recent big winners in the McDonald's Monopoly game were related. Oh, and they all knew a guy called Uncle Jerry. At first, the FBI didn't take it seriously. But then, Special Agent Richard Dent got curious. He started digging, and what he found was astounding. Winner after winner, all connected, all with stories that seemed a little too good to be true. The FBI launched Operation Final Answer, named after the catchphrase from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?, another popular game show at the time. They enlisted the help of McDonald's, convincing them to run one last game to catch Jerry in the act. It was a risky move for McDonald's. How would the public react if they found out the company had run a game they knew was rigged? But the fast food giant wanted answers as much as the FBI did. The trap was set. When the next winner came forward, the FBI was ready. They posed as a film crew, complete with a McDonald's marketing executive who had been sworn in as a temporary FBI agent. Talk about a career change? The winner, Michael Hoover, spun an elaborate tale about finding his $1 million piece in a People magazine. Little did he know, the FBI was recording every word, and when he made a phone call right after the interview mentioning Uncle Jerry, they knew they had their man. But Hoover wasn't the only one caught in the FBI's net. They were listening to everyone. They had tapped over 20,000 phone numbers, resulting in 235 tapes of recorded evidence. The scale of the operation was mind-boggling. As they dug deeper, the FBI uncovered a web of deceit that stretched across the country. Winners were claiming prizes using addresses spread across the United States, but their checks were all being rerouted to Jacksonville, where they actually lived. The house of cards came tumbling down. Jerry was arrested, along with his network of fake winners and recruiters. In total, more than 50 people were indicted in the scam. The FBI had cracked one of the most unusual cases in its history. When they raided Jerry's home, they found $4 million in prize money stashed away. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. Over the course of the 12-year scam, Jerry and his accomplices had stolen an estimated $24 million in cash and prizes. The trial was set to begin on September 10, 2001. But then, the world changed. In the wake of the 9/11 attacks, the McDonald's Monopoly scandal faded from the headlines. Most of the defendants, including Jerry, pleaded guilty. Uncle Jerry was sentenced to 37 months in prison and ordered to pay $12.5 million in restitution. It was a hefty price for a game that was supposed to be all about fun and free food. The fallout was massive. Simon Marketing, the company Jerry worked for, lost its contract with McDonald's and eventually went out of business, leaving hundreds jobless. McDonald's reputation took a hit, and they had to work hard to regain public trust. As a gesture of goodwill, McDonald's gave away $25 million worth of prizes to random customers. It was a costly lesson in the importance of security and oversight. But what about the master of the McScam himself? After serving his time, Jerry Jacobson retired to Georgia with his 7th wife. Yes, you heard that right, 7th. He still pays $370 a month in restitution, a small price to pay for the millions he stole. Some who know Jerry believe he might have millions buried away somewhere, a secret stash for a rainy day. After all, once a schemer, always a schemer. In the end, the McDonald's Monopoly scam tells us something about the American dream. It's a story of greed, of course, but also of ingenuity and daring. It's a reminder that sometimes, the line between a brilliant scheme and a criminal enterprise is as thin as a McDonald's hamburger patty. It's also a tale of how quickly things can spiral out of control. What started as a small theft snowballed into a multi-million-dollar fraud that ruined lives and careers. Jerry's fall from grace, from trusted security expert to convicted fraudster, is a cautionary tale about the slippery slope of moral compromise. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this story is how it captivated America. Even years after the scandal, people are still intrigued. In 2018, the story resurfaced when an article about the scam went viral. Hollywood came calling, with movie rights selling for a cool $1 million. Why are we so fascinated by this tale? Maybe it's because deep down, we all dream of beating the system, of finding that golden ticket. The McDonald's Monopoly scam is like a twisted version of Willy Wonka, where the chocolate factory is a fast food joint and the Oompa Loompas are ex-cons and mobsters. Or maybe it's because this scam feels uniquely American. It's got all the ingredients: fast food, game shows, organized crime, and the eternal quest to get rich quick. It's like someone threw the American dream into a blender and hit puree. Today, McDonald's has long since moved on, running new promotions with tighter security. But the next time you peel off a game piece from your soda cup or fry carton, remember Uncle Jerry. In the game of Monopoly, as in life, sometimes the biggest player is the one you never see. And just like that, a $24 million scam came to an end. It wasn't quite, do not pass go, do not collect $200. It was more like, go directly to jail, but only after collecting millions. Now that's a supersized scandal if I've ever seen one. Welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order? In the end, Jerome Jacobson's legacy isn't golden arches or a Monopoly board. It's a cautionary tale about greed, opportunity, and the unexpected places where crime can take root. So the next time you're playing Monopoly or biting into a Big Mac, spare a thought for Uncle Jerry, the man who gave new meaning to "I'm lovin' it."